Hollywood, it's Dobey! Gründen ein Caller heute Nachmittag ausgefallen war mit George Noble, ist einer heute Abend noch hier eingeflogen. Herzlich willkommen, dem Kirkulator, Kirk Bevins!
He's here. He's made it as a late recall and a late replacement for George Noble. Kirk Bevins hot-footing it from Glasgow to make it here in Leverkusen, and in time to preside over what should be a really intriguing encounter as well. Chris Dobey, just 27 years old, one of 6 players who came through UK qualifying for the first 2 Euro Tour events of this year, and a man who last weekend reached his second final. The world champion, Paul Nicholson.
Wouldn't that be something? And I don't think anybody in the darting world would deny him. He's been a professional now for over 25 years.
First leg is Chris to throw first. Game on.
Wayne Jones has had his ups and downs over the last few years, but when he won the Challenge Tour last year, there is not one person in the darting community
125.
begrudged him it.
Yeah.
It was just a great thing. He went back a level. He changed a few things, and he's the kind of guy that never changed anything. But he went to a skinnier barrel. He kept the small flights and the small stems, but that change of the barrel was massive for him. And now he's playing as good as he has in the last 3 or 4 years.
81.
I'd have to go along with that. He was a 3-time winner on the Challenge Tour last year. He ended the season by bagging over £3,500 over the final weekend. He had 1 win, 1 final, and 1 semi-final to secure top
60.
spots in the final order of merit, ahead of Mark Dubbridge. Beat Stuart Kellett in that final. It was in the 19th Challenge Tour event of the year. Haven't seen him on the European Tour for a while, though. It was in Vienna last summer, and his previous one was 12 months before that as well, so he's had a smattering of Euro Tour experiences.
180.
It's Jones who gets the first 180 of the match. Had a very
59.
very notable win in qualifying for this as well. Wayne Jones, he beats Keegan Brown 6-1, notable in itself, and then he beat Jamie Lewis, World Championship semi-finalist Jamie Lewis, as he's now known, 6-4 in his second qualifier. Dobey came through against 2 Matts, Padgett and Edgar, 4 and 5.
You heard about Jamie Lewis's new nickname?
No.
Since the World?
64.
Fireball.
101.
I like it a lot. Well, Wayne Jones will like 101 a lot if he hits it. 81 remain. Not going to get a shot at it. Chris Dobey has
54.
stalled in this leg a little bit.
114.
This 114 will fix it very well. That won't help. Just had a few, as we call, skew whiff darts up in the northeast.
82.
It's a good leave.
47.
Got to rely on misses from Jonah now. 7 for tops. Have to go to the right. Oh, he could nestle it under. Perfectly done.
Second leg is Wayne to throw first. Game on.
One thing I've noticed as well, Rob, about Wayne Jones, he looks like he's lost a bit of timber. He's looking a little bit more athletic these days.
140.
He's a very dangerous player, and in my opinion, it's not even a thought process. He is the best player never to win a pro title.
93.
At the top pro level. He's won Challenge Tour, but he's never won a pro title. I was there in 2009 when he was in a final in Coventry with Phil Taylor, and he had 2 darts to beat him in the final. That's as close as he's come.
60.
And he had that run to the semi-finals of the World Championship in 06 as well. Lost to Peter Manley that day.
96.
Made the last 4 of one of these European Tour events, the German Darts Masters, 5 years ago. He beat Michael van Gerwen on the way there as well, and Gary Anderson.
28.
Before losing to Mervyn King. Made also the semis in the Dutch Masters in 2012, where he beat Phil Taylor. So on the European Tour, he's had some pretty good wins.
120.
Well, arguably the 3 best players in the world at one point in time or another.
I remember that Dutch Masters very well.
Because he lost to your good self, didn't he?
I played a very good game.
98.
I played terribly in the final against Simon Whitlock, but
it was Jones you beat in the semi, yeah.
It was a good game for me. But Jonas up on stage now, we've got to give him credit for that. And he's playing someone in Chris Dobey's in hot form. Last week he played brilliantly. And he scared Van Gerwen points in that game.
Well, when you look at his stats, you know, he lost 6-2. He averaged almost 110. He had a 10-dart leg as well in that final. And he hit 22 180s on the way to the final as well. So, all in all,
36.
It was a very, very good weekend. Just missing out on the title itself.
One thing Chris has been doing lately is just getting used to new darts, and that's something we'll talk about in the next leg. Chris will come back now for double eight, and you'll want to polish it off nice and quickly just to get rid of some opening match Euro Tour nerves. It's not a bad guide, just a little adjustment needed, and that's really, really well done.
Third leg is Chris to throw first.
Break back for Chris. I find it hard calling him Hollywood. He was given that nickname by Gary Reid, I think, up in the northeast of England, the owner and manager of the White House Unique Social Club. And Gary Reid has everything to do with Northumberland darts. What a character he is. I think he's the one that called him Hollywood, and it just stuck. There's nothing Hollywood about him.
140.
He's a great dart player, though.
Nice, superb. And Phil Taylor
108.
paid a nice tribute to him. 180 for Dobey. You know, it was Dobey who had the honour of playing Phil Taylor in Taylor's first round match in his last ever World Championship.
60.
And Dobey had his moments in that one as well. He overcame a difficult start to push the 16-time World Champion in a 3-1 defeat. He's got his rhythm going here, hasn't he?
Back in those 180s again, Rob.
But afterwards, Taylor said when they keep on talking about the future of darts, he said, "This is your fella, I think." And I thought that was high praise indeed for Chris Dobey.
89 left. That's 32 left. What a leg this is.
Oh, will be if he finishes it off.
We won't like that one. That was a wide. It's all right, he will be back.
Yeah,
and it's a bit of a smile.
Back-to-back 180s for Dobey in this one. Puts him in a good position.
100.
That's the reason why a lot of people like young Chris, because his attitude is impeccable. He didn't get flustered by that miss. All he's done is walk back to the board and take care of it.
Yeah.
His attitude, I believe, is up there. Probably top 10 in the world. Gets on with it. Taught very well by his uncle Arthur and his dad Gordon, who are phenomenal players in their own right.
26.
Got good company on the tour as well. He spends a lot of time with Adam Hunt. He's a great player in himself.
140.
And another great player from the northeast who's making strides this year, and Ryan Joyce. He's also made a semi-final on the Pro Tour this year.
Recently. All part of the Geordie Mafia.
I'm not sure what he'd say about that, because he is from Northumberland. He's from Bedlington, the hotbed of Northumberland darts.
60.
He's been using new darts for a little while now. It took him a little bit of time to get used to them. And now he's been using them for about 6-7 months. He really is starting to find the comfort in his hands.
59.
Well, Dobey only qualified for 5 of these Euro Tour events last year. He lost in the first round in 3 of them as well, but he looks a very different animal this weekend. He didn't qualify for this tournament last year, and only once did he make the final day in Austria as well, that was, where he lost to Villianen 6-2. It was strange that, actually, because he beat Dave Pallett 6-1, and he beat Stephen Bunting 6-0. He actually won 12 legs in succession without reply, having fallen behind in the first match. And then he got beat by Villianen when it looks as though he might be on for a really deep run in the tournament.
Yeah, Villianen was good that day.
But Villianen was very good that day, very good that weekend. Yeah.
So was Martin Schindler. That was a crazy little event that in Austria last year, and I'm very much looking forward to going to Graz, a new venue next month.
New port of call, yep.
That's 12. Just checking with Kirky later. That leaves 92.
That leaves 32. Yeah. Dobey looking
72.
good here for a breaker throw, isn't he?
I know what he'll be saying to himself right now as well. He's missing double 16 a little bit. And if he keeps missing it like that, he'll want to practice it. He'll probably get straight back in the practice board after this match, come win or loss, but he's got to hit it this time. Double 8.
Yeah, double 8 again.
Chris Dobey. Mid leg is Chris to throw first. Game on.
And he doesn't hang about, does he?
He does not hang about, and he's looking just to pile the pressure on here. There's a bit of a gulf in the averages right now. Dobey just above 90. Jones only just above 70, so that's a chasm.
You see the expression of Wayne in the background there. Just looks almost frustrated at what's going on. And sometimes when you're practicing so well in the back and you don't take it onto the stage, it's the most frustrating thing in the world. But Dobey's definitely bringing it to the stage.
Yeah.
And another 180 to his tally. He's keeping the crowd very happy.
That's his third of the match. Jones struggling on that first dart, average on the first dart of less than 20, which is never really going to get you into contention, especially when Dobey's scoring as well as he is. The average is inching towards 95 now.
121.
That'll do his average the world of good as well. He's in control here. He's won 3 legs on the spin. He lost the opener, but he looks to be in a very, very good place here, Chris Dobey. Winner to face Kim Huybrechts tomorrow.
100. Chris require 100.
Kim Huybrechts backstage, no doubt keeping half an eye on this one.
Tops for Dobey. That's a great guide.
60.
That one shot out of his hand. You couldn't believe it. But more often than not in this match, especially in the last few legs, Chris Dobey has scored so well. He's given himself such a massive buffer.
140. Chris require 40.
Tops again. That again is a good guide. Double 10 is there.
On the fifth leg.
4-1 in a flash.
6 leg is Wayne to throw first. Game on.
And this one is slipping through Jones's fingers now. Just not able to register anything too significant at all. It was a really promising start for him, but
60.
he's just gone completely off the boil. There's another visit without a treble.
Well, when you play Chris and he's in this sort of mood and he
100.
hits a lot of big scores, he can beat you very, very quickly. He can make a best of 11 match feel like best of 3. I'm a big believer in this new generation of dart players being very impatient. But they just want to get it done so they can go back to doing what they do, social media, Xbox, whatever.
But it's good to see, as far as Chris is concerned, that the good work he's been doing on the floor and presumably in the practice room as well is really coming to bear here.
140.
I spent a lot of time with Dave Chisnell, and they've got very similar games. They're all about heavy scoring and getting that upright angle of the dart right so they can pile them in together. And is it a coincidence that both of them made finals last week in Milton Keynes? Chizzy being beaten by Ian White on the Sunday, Chris by Van Gerwen on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Chris require 164.
Another one of them would be handy. A bullseye be handy.
Got it as well.
Oh,
yes.
on the stick
Chris
leg.
Dobey just delivering absolutely everything here.
Game on.
And Wayne Jones, well, I think he's resigned to the fact he's a beaten man here because Dobey is barely putting a foot wrong. The finishing has been, good enough, and it was spectacular there. And he's just absolutely, confidence oozing through his veins here. Jones just can't find a treble, can he? There we see the gulf in the averages getting even wider here now.
That finish was like a hammer blow from Thor. That was a very good finish. Wayne thinking, finally going to get a shot to double, and Dobey pitches in with the third hardest finish on the board. It's the right way to go as well for the way his darts sit. As soon as he hit that treble 19 in the top half, you thought he's going to have a pop at this. It was a great shot.
58.
I like Chris's attitude towards his preparation too. He was here this morning at 11 o'clock having a throw.
Yeah.
Getting a look at the arena before the people came in. Jonah getting in on the act on the 180s, leaving. 164.
140.
Yeah, maybe a chance here for Jones to at least prolong the match. Jones won't be taking out 164 here, but he will be back with Dobey on 188. Jones' favourite here now for the leg anyway, in a break back, but still with plenty to do. But Dobey looking to put the pressure back on with 96, that leaves 92.
Well, Wayne might have to hit this, otherwise he might not be back to the board. That leaves 56. Tops left, this is a must. Just over the top. No, 92 for the match now.
92.
Could be all over in the next 15 seconds.
Could well be. Treble 20, not to be. 72 remaining. He was looking for the double-double there.
56.
It was the right shot. I feel in that spot that was the right shot. But Wayne Jones now to get a second leg on the board. Double 10. Back up top. Pulls a face.
35.
Doesn't seem too pleased.
No,
Maybe he's resigned to defeat Rob.
He's not had too many goes at doubles today, Wayne Jones, and he's
Game
missed
shot.
those, and
Man of the
Dobey's
match,
not missed that.
Chris Dobey.
And Chris Dobey wraps up what for me has been a very, very eye-catching performance indeed. Plenty to admire about the way he went about his business. Suffered a very early break as Jones won the opening leg, but from that moment on it was all one-way traffic. The highlight, of course, the 164 checkout, but there were a couple of back-to-back 180s in there as well that really got him going, and in the end he finishes off with an average of just under 93. And Chris Dobey, on this evidence, may well cause Kim Huybrechts one or two problems. The good work he's been doing in the floor events of late, he finally reached in Milton Keynes last weekend, clearly evident once again today. Jones well beaten, you have to say, losing by 6 legs to 1. Dobey through to face Huybrechts tomorrow, and on the way next we've got Danny Noppert making his European Tour debut, having just moved over to the PDC circuit, and he's up against Jeffrey de Zwaan. Let's grab a quick word now with your latest winner, Chris Dobey.
You played in your life, but some highlights, you know, this 164 was great, 3 180s.
Yeah, it's the win that counts at the end of the day, but I think the scoring one is that game more than out. But finishing, I need to tighten up a bit on the doubles, but like I said, scoring for fun, it's just the doubles that count at the end.
Kim Huybrechts is the next one.
Yeah, I've got a good record against Kim, but it doesn't mean anything. We're both good players. We both know how to play the game. It's just what happens on the day. So hopefully, I need to play better than that to get the win. So hopefully.
See you tomorrow again. Thank you very much, Chris. Chris Dobey. Er sagt, war vom Scoring her besser als sein Gegner.